Sounds good.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
Tyler. I'm just kind
okay.
of the co-host. Cody's kind of the front man of all this, but we're both very passionate about metal music and kind of bringing this idea of extreme metal into the future. Hopefully finding new young people to get into the music we all know and love, and maybe bring forth some of the passion from the past. But yeah,
And I'm Nubs.
you're
I'm
in here,
new.
Terry.
I'm new to all this heavy metal stuff. I've listened to metal, but nothing this heavy. So yeah, Cody threw out this idea, and I figured I'd try to join him along for this journey.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm Valera. I'm the basically the mastermind behind Vaselis, since it's all about my identity and whatnot. So I write everything in that band, but I give bass and drums full creative freedom for those guys. But everything else, compositionally, lyrically, everything. Yeah. It happens all the time. It's okay. Yeah, yeah. Um, Me personally, I mean, I started playing guitar in like 2007, I want to say. So, and I started writing shortly after, um, like within the year. So I've been writing music for almost 20 years now, and it's the first songs I wrote, I will never share. They're awful, but it turned me into what I can do now. I had to make all that garbage first to make the good stuff that I write now. So that, and then this band has been around technically for 3 years. We've been doing live music for 2 years, though.
Yeah, I feel like we all kind of start in that spot, but like you said, it's so essential for becoming the artist you want to be. All that trial and error, messing with different sounds until you really can chisel out that identity for yourself. So I totally get that.
Yeah,
20 years is
absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah, I had no idea I was gonna do music like this. I actually, before I learned playing guitar, like I wasn't really that big in music in general. Like I didn't really listen to music that much. I didn't have like diverse taste. It was pretty basic. But I
Mhm.
think once I started writing, like it changed. I became more open to more things, and I started checking out different stuff. I remember the first time somebody showed me Killswitch Engage, and I was like, this sounds kind of weird because the vocals were all screamy, and I was like, that sounds kind of odd. But it grew on me, obviously. So it's just I became more exposed and more open to things, which I'm super happy with what I've been writing because of it.
Yeah, of course. So, oh, no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Um, Funny enough, Evanescence is the reason I started writing. But
Great
what
music.
made me go that more black metal route was Cradle of Filth. Like I was the kind of person writing like 10-minute black metal songs that were just they weren't good, but they were my first dippings into how do I make spooky sounding, evil, fast stuff. Yeah.
Evil is the buzzword I like to hear. I prefer evil music or haunting music over like brutal heavy music.
Same.
they're dropping a new album.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yep. The new one is honestly, I'm really happy because their last album it wasn't that good. And then this one they just went full like mixed with like almost like the modern metalcore scene. Like Spirit Box and Poppy are on tour with them for a reason.
Hmm.
I'm actually seeing them next week when they come locally because they're touring with Spirit Box. So it's a double header on two bands that I really like playing the same night. They've been doing really well. I'm really happy for them. I'm glad they finally found their space in the modern music world because it's rough out there for everybody, even the big guys.
Especially in rock and metal, like some of the biggest bands in the world. I hear like through watching interviews, like you'd be shocked how many like big metal acts still work normal jobs. Like Darkthrone, for example. That
Mhm.
dude, Nocturnal Culto is a teacher and Fenriz works at the post office, just to get by. Like
Right.
that's crazy.
Yeah, their live set is really good. I actually did see them last year at like a random sold out show on like a Tuesday. They they packed the place and it was just the visuals are insane. They've got like live footage intermingled with like this weird like backing video and it's really really cool and it sounds super fucking heavy live. Hmm. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pleasantly
Yeah.
surprised.
Like 20 to 30 minutes. It's not too bad. No, it's mostly just it's gluing to my face pretty much and then filling in the gaps. So I've done it. God, I don't even know how many times now. I've gotten it down to a science, like the order and how I do it and everything. So it's pretty easy to do.
Makes me feel like I need to try harder with my corpse paint. Watercolor I hear works really good. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what's like one of your most favorite lines you've written?
Ooh, good question.
Like favorite lyric or
Yeah, yeah, like
oh man. Um I probably would have to actually like look through my own lyrics to figure out what there is. I mean, I am writing new material right now, so there's definitely some stuff in there that I feel very proud of, but I don't know. It's hard to pick a line, and I think this is probably why we've never made a shirt that has a lyric on the back of it because I can never pick what line to put on the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
I put a lot of effort and time into every lyric that I write, and I hate having any lines that make me go, ew, that's like okay, but it just kind of pales in comparison to the rest. So I try to, if I ever feel that way, then I immediately will like go back and kind of mess with it. I try to be proud of all the stuff I've done in the context of the song, but also if you read it off, like it would still sound like almost like a poem. Um, so I
I
can't
like
I
that.
can't pick like a single line. I can't. It they're all like in context and they work with the songs, they work with the music. So
It's a great
yeah.
answer.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Like, and like I was saying in a previous video we did, I really love to see that kind of effort, for taking lyrics and album artwork and aesthetics and blending them all into a larger story. Like, and like I said before, it's awesome to me that people do that, even though the average person doesn't even care. But it matters to you, and that matters to me. You know what I mean? I think that's
Hmm.
awesome. I really love the poetry of writing, especially black metal. It can be a very beautiful and dark and twisted genre if you let it. So, saying that as someone who takes pride in their lyrics and their writing, how do you feel necessarily like about bands who don't do any lyrics and they just kind of scream and vibe to the instruments? Like, how does that come off to you?
Um, I try to be pretty open to like different interpretations because at the end of the day, this is all just an art form.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, even though we do write all these lyrics, a lot of it is viewed as more of a rhythm instrument, like vocals. They're
Hmm.
not, the lyrics are not usually understood or heard.
Hmm.
So when a band makes a decision to not do lyrics and just make sounds that fit the song, it's a creative choice. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to resonate with everybody, but it is technically another instrument and you
Hmm.
can do whatever the hell you want with that. You can improvise every single show if you want. You can pick the sounds you want and always do those. Like it's essentially the same thing, I guess. There's just no words behind it. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh
still
yeah.
making noises to the song.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think what the vocalist for Waking the Cadaver says sometimes he doesn't use lyrics, and I mean, I still love that music. And same with my friend Dylan from Ski Mask. Sometimes he doesn't write music, but Ski Mask is still one of my favorite bands. You can hardly tell, but I do always appreciate the effort, the effort that goes unnoticed.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, I feel like this is another one where I'm not gonna be able to pick one. I I think this is a lot to do with when I write new material. I typically will listen to it at least 50 times before I say, yeah, this will go on the album.
Oh,
Because if I get tired of it, or if there's something in that song that makes me want to skip it every time, it's like that's not going on the album, which means it's not going to get played live. Because
mhm.
yeah, at the end of the day, I have to keep playing it live for who knows how many years, who knows how many times, and I don't want to get tired of it. I want to make sure that I always feel something with it and it's fun and it still connects to me even after I've played it, the 50th time on stage and I'm just like, yeah, this song is still that it still gets me going. So there isn't really one. I feel like it always changes. That's also why we kind of cycle through songs on the album, just because, like, if you do play it 50 times, like, okay, well, let's bring in one we haven't played in a while, and then kind of put that one on the back burner and then switch back, because then you'll get tired of that one and then you want to switch to another one. So they're all fun and they're all different. Um, I will say, I think that I do have a favorite, and I kind of fight the band with this one a lot because it's a moody song. So we play a lot of extreme stuff, and sometimes people don't want to listen to the long piano breaks, which I understand. Perpetual Chasm of Black Mirrors is my favorite to perform because it's got these spooky piano lines with like eerie vocals on it, and the vocals are meant to be very dynamic and expressive, and I love doing that live because it just gives you a moment to focus on that aspect. And I don't have to play guitar during that because usually I play guitar and do vocals, but this song I have sections where I can just do vocals and just be eerie and focus on the lyrics that are being expressed and putting them into the words. So, and I think in general, that's just what I love to do is just putting emphasis on the lyrics and figure out how to perform them that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that piano would go kind of hard live. I don't think I've seen or heard that, but I think that'd be kind of sick.
Hmm. Thank you.
Do
Yeah.
you program or like actually play a piano when you're writing stuff like that?
So I write everything in Guitar Pro, like
Hmm.
just purely based on the sounds, and then when it goes to the album, I hire a session pianist to play them because I'm I don't like just taking it MIDI straight up and just throwing that in. It loses that touch that you get from actually having somebody really play it live.
Yeah. Well, there is something about natural playing that you just cannot replicate with a program. You
Right.
know, whether it be
Exactly.
little, many little, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but just like maybe a little like the imperfections or like maybe different like pacing and shit
Yep.
like that, that it does matter, you know. So
It
even like
does.
when I'm using like I prefer to like play a synth rather than program it. I can never get programmed things to sound right.
Hmm.
So I totally
Yeah.
get you there. And it's cool you take the extra effort to pay someone and to give another musician a chance to perform as well. That's really awesome to me.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's all backing tracks, but it's the exact same backing tracks that are on the album. So we're basically taking his performance and putting it into the live show every single time.
Super.
I mean, it is definitely, I mean, Flesh God Apocalypse for one, right? I know that's a super specific example that I feel like is a rare case, but I think it's hard to find pianists that are willing to do this kind of music, let alone are not already in a band that they're committed to, because they're very, very few and far between. Like drummers are hard to find, but pianists are like impossible to find. So backing tracks is just if a pianist ever come up to us and said, "Hey, could I play your stuff live with you?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, that'd be awesome!" Like, I'd love to have a live like piano player, but I just know it's not realistic.
Well,
Yeah,
it's fascinating to me too because where we're from, like, or where Cody and I are from, it's a pretty small city. And so, you know, you kind of get caught in this mentality of like, man, I wish I lived somewhere bigger where I could meet more people who would be willing to do this or more people who had this similar vision. But hearing you come from somewhere like Sacramento, where I think what
San
there's
Francisco.
San Francisco. My bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm going to
You're good.
Sacramento next month, so it's on my mind. But coming from somewhere out there where there's so many more people, you'd think, oh, it'd be easier. But like from what you're saying, it sounds like it's just like that everywhere. Like if you're into a niche, it's going to be a niche, and that's kind of fascinating to me. It kind of makes it's making me check my mindset a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely like even though there are a lot of musicians here, they're all in multiple bands and it's very, very, very saturated. So if you don't know somebody that just happens to be like your friend who plays piano and you might ask them, you're not going to find anybody. It's very much like get them while they're in one band or in no bands because otherwise they're going to end up in five and then you're not going to get a chance. So
Yeah.
that's pretty normal around here.
insane to me. Um, yeah, I'm a little more curious about like where you pull lyrical inspiration from, you know? Are you into building your own world? Are you inspired by worlds created by other people? Like what's that process like? And like what mentality do you like to be in when you're writing your lyrics?
So, since all of the lyrics for this band are about my identity and kind of where I come from and all of that, um, that is like my source material. At least like home is literally about where I'm from,
Hmm.
and so like the new material I'm working on is more about my like identity dysphoria and trying to put that into like metaphorical words. And I actually did take lessons on lyric writing during COVID, like
Hmm.
online lessons. I did some like workbooks that helped me really expand my understanding of like writing and using
Hmm.
metaphors and how to, use perfect rhymes, imperfect rhymes, all that fun stuff. And so it kind of helped me get more of a process that I have. And a lot of it is first I do the vocal rhythms of the song that are just noises. And this kind of comes back to what we were talking about before. Like it's all because that's how most people are going to hear it. It's an instrument. So I just start straight away with just the melodies and the noises where they're going to go. So I know how many syllables there are per line.
Hmm.
And then I use that as like the puzzle piece that I have to figure out how do I put what I want lyrically into this style that fits. And that it can get a little hard to start off, but once I start like brainstorming keywords and kind of write out like a general idea of what I want the song to be about and where I want the changes to be in the song that match it sonically, that's when I can start going in with, a thesaurus and a rhyming dictionary and just start finding things that speak to me.
Hmm.
I typically try to go for a metaphor, some kind of either a metaphor or something interesting that's happening that I can describe. I need like a visual in my head of what's happening in the song to kind of pull from for lyrics.
Okay, yeah. That's fascinating to me because that's completely backwards from me like writing stuff and trying to like beat it into the instrumental and force it in there. Like that's a very fascinating take, and I've tried it a few times, and you're right, it can be tough, but it is very rewarding, and it creates a much more flowy experience.
Hmm.
Um, you did touch on um like gender or not, fuck man, sorry. You touched on identity dysphoria. Does
Hmm.
something like wearing a mask on stage help you with that? Like, as someone who deals with that, who's got insane stage fright, does wearing like the mask or the makeup really help you on stage? Really step into this identity that you're trying to portray, or how would you say that goes?
So irrelevant to the music itself, this is my identity everywhere. So I've
Hmm.
gone out with friends like this and like things that are outside of the band altogether.
Hmm.
But even before I did this, like I performed on stage without like for some reason performing has never really been like a big issue for me.
Hmm.
I don't know why. I think the hardest part with this project was going from guitars only to vocals and guitars. That's when things started to get like, oh, I know now that people are definitely looking at me way more than looking at anyone else. So
Hmm.
it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. And I think my first few shows, I definitely was like getting nauseous. And it was one of those things where I just pushed through it and was like, we'll just have to get through the initial shows that are rough. And now it's a lot easier depending on the show. If they're bigger shows, then I try my best to do a lot more like just sitting and breathing, literally just breathing exercises, closing my eyes, detaching from the environment for a bit. Um, so I would say that what you're seeing doesn't really help me necessarily. Um, I have to do more of like traditional things to actually ground myself and not get so caught up in worrying about making mistakes. Because at the end of the day, that's the kind of stuff that people don't really even notice anyways.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst that could happen. So it's not that bad.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally get that. And so you said you like to go out like that in general. That's
Mhm.
very, very fascinating to me. So on an average day, are you kind of like going out as this identity? that you're portraying right now? Because that's really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Usually, I mean, work like day work stuff, obviously, I can't. I've tried.
Yeah,
Corporate stuff be damned, ruin everything in my life. But
yeah,
definitely like when I go out on like weekends or after work with like friends or like um other means to basically just be myself, then yeah, I'll always do it.
that's actually really cool to me. Like that's something I wish I had the courage to do, to be myself more often in public, because I try and I kind of always talk myself out of it. So
That's
that's
so it's interesting you say that because I did go to therapy for this and it helped me a lot with doing it because my therapist knew before me that I was going to go out in public like this and I couldn't even believe it. And a big part of it is that mental block where like say I would get into the bathroom at the venue and I would change and then I would be in that moment where I'm like the hardest part is now stepping out there. Like
yeah,
the biggest thing though is not stopping yourself because there definitely was a moment where I'm like, this is right now. I can back out right now if I want to. And it's like, no, you just can't let that block actually happen. And it's easier said than done. I'm not going to say like, oh, it's really easy, just turn it off. Like, I still get that. I still
yeah,
get that block. And the biggest thing I've learned and trained myself to do is just not let it actually stop me. Acknowledge it's there and be like, yeah, this thing again, and then just do your thing.
yeah.
And you'd be surprised. Like I've gotten the occasional negative comment, but it's been mostly positive, supportive things that just always throw me off because I'm usually in my head worried about the negative stuff.
Oh yeah, because we're all our own worst enemy, and I can
Hmm.
relate to that too. If I'm wearing makeup or something in public, people are usually complimenting me, but when I get home and I'm trying to decide, I'm just like, oh, everyone's gonna be judging me. People are gonna be mean to
Yeah,
me. Like. So I think that that's really good advice for anyone listening to try to avoid those thoughts in your head, because no one's gonna be more mean to you than yourself.
exactly.
That's really inspirational to me.
I'm glad. So my first live show I think was like 2012, and that was obviously a different band. And I've been kind of in and out of bands since then. There was a band before Vaselis that was a little bit bigger in the local scene, and that was kind of where I did most of my like first festivals and like kind of like the bigger local shows. But Vaselis has been like the most true to me and the most I've felt like connected to an actual project. But and it's definitely the most motivated I've been to push a band to the farthest I can possibly go. So I mean I've been doing live shows for a while, but you know, it's still hard every so often.
I bet. Yeah. What? When you first introduce people to like your style of music or your band, what's like the first song you usually play them or have them check out?
Um, Funny enough, probably Flesh Throne. It was our first single. It was our first single, and like it to me is the most like just encapsulating of our sound. Um, and it's heavy, and people usually like that stuff. So
I have to listen to it. Mhm.
I in the context of the bands, or just in general. I mean, when I first found my identity and whatnot, that was about 6 years ago. Like the being a demon as a whole was definitely the start of it. So like red face horns, like all of that has been the core element since day one. My face has definitely evolved over time as I started with like a pre-made masks from, I don't know if you know Immortal Masks, but they're like a big silicone mask maker. And I started with them for multiple years, and then I finally met an artist who made me my full bodysuit that I use on stage. And then eventually her and I kind of got closer, and I was like, let's try the face thing because I've wanted to do like one that I can stick on my face actually for so long, and the only way I could do that is by going to a different person. I was a little scared because I get emotionally attached to the face that I had, but
Mhm.
I ended up working out for the best because this to me feels the most actually like applicable to me, and it's custom to me.
Mhm.
Literally had my face like 3D scanned, 3D printed, and then it was the design was molded to my actual face, so that way it fits me perfectly. And now it's like this is like a one of a kind, which feels more applicable to my actual identity. So I'm
Yeah.
not just another copy of something that somebody can order online. Like I know like this is who I am, and no one else can be that. So this has been a long time coming, definitely.
I like that specifically with that makeup, you're able to be more like expressive than you would be able to with a mask, you know. Like I can
Hmm.
still see your face moving, you know, I can
Yeah.
see your emotions, and that's really cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's worth it for what it is. So yeah, the mask thing was easier, but it just didn't feel as like true to me and connected to me for the physical reasons as well. So I'm glad that that comes through.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I'm fascinated by it. Uh,
Oh, I know what you mean. I specifically avoided that because I just had a feeling I'd probably the second that I can't breathe as well, I'll start freaking out. So I actually found a place near me that has one of those light scanners. It's like a gun that just shoots light at you, and
mhm.
then it scans your face and turns it into a 3D model. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in terms of like technology. So that saved a lot of pain and suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine that's comfortable because that stuff takes a while to set.
Yeah, not fun. Hmm.
Oh, poor girl.
Yeah, that was why I avoided it. I'm pretty sure I'm not claustrophobic. I've been in an MRI machine head first and I'm fine. But at the same time, the whole not being able to breathe as well, that starts making me freak out. So I was like, it's easier just to do light. Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Trying to think of
Um,
something.
so I've been pretty like I hadn't heard of, you called it demonic black metal or demon black metal. Would you consider yourself
Yeah.
to be like one of the first bands in that sound? Like,
Um,
is that something of your own creation, or did you have influences that pulled you in that direction? Obviously, like with your identity, you were probably heading that direction anyway, but like I was just curious if you could touch on that a little bit.
yeah. So, the genre I put for a lot of our stuff is symphonic demon black metal, and I specifically chose demon and not demonic because it's meant to
Mhm.
imply it's made by a demon.
Yeah.
The thing with that is I only added it mainly, and it's something that, as far as I know, I came up with it. I don't know of any other bands with that. I'm sure there might be some in the corner of the internet. But I chose it to kind of pull us away from just strictly symphonic black metal because I feel like we're not quite just regular symphonic black metal. We have a
Mhm.
bit more of something else going on, and I don't really know what other words to use, so I just kind of threw that in there as like a oh, I wonder what that means. And that's kind of what it's supposed to do, is make you like, what does that sound like? And then go listen to it. And then it's makes it more of like a, okay, this is what this genre sounds like because it's tied to this band. So it's not limiting us to, oh, I know what symphonic black metal sounds like and I don't want to listen to this.
Yeah.
So, kind of bringing in the curiosity more than anything else.
Oh yeah. Well, that's freaking sick to me that you kind of like paved your own path, and now here's this just little subgenre out there that you're putting on for, and hopefully, because I know there are other people in the world. I've seen videos of people who also identify and present that way, and it'd be really cool if that was inspirational to them, and maybe we get a scene someday, like maybe like concerts and shows of
Yeah.
individuals with similar interests, similar minds, similar identities. Like that's really cool to me.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. That'd be really cool if it got to that level.
Mhm. Whole festival would even be cool, but with black metal,
Yeah.
good luck. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
or- yeah.
I don't. I've been trying to think of stuff, but like I said, it's kind of out of my realm. So
Yeah. I love like the natural flow and getting off topic a little bit, but yeah.
Um, I'm almost done writing it. Like I have 8 songs and I want to get like 9 or 10 before I'm officially done. So very close. We actually just played one of the new songs last night at that fest for the first time because I'm always antsy to play new material. I don't care how long until it comes out. I'm like, I'm gonna start playing it live because no one can tell me I can't. Um,
Yeah.
so I think this album probably won't come out till the beginning of 2028 at this point, which sounds far, but there's a lot of steps between here and there. Finishing up the writing, I haven't even finished all the lyrics yet. Then we're probably gonna hit the studio early next year, and then by that point, you gotta go through all the PR stuff. So first single probably will be out next year, of course, but the album will take a bit longer before it's all out.
but looking forward to it.
Well, just blow it out live. Yeah. Which is my preferred method, but I mean, I totally understand really taking the time to carve things out. With my other project, Estera, I could put a project out in a weekend, or like my album Empire of Dread and Evil, that took me about 2 years to make. So I totally understand that. Just really wanting it to be perfect, and it can be a process, but it's really cool to me that you don't clutch the reins and like hold on to all that till it's ready. It's cool that you let yourself express that as needed. You know, that's really sick to me.
It's hard not to just release the material now. I mean, we don't have anything, but like I feel like every time I finish a song and I'm really, really feeling it, and the more I listen to it, I get more excited about like, I can't wait to share this with everybody. And it's like, yeah, but there's and there's a reason why you take the time to do all those things. It's like make sure you go to a proper recording studio, get really nice mix and mastering. There's lots of back and forth on notes. Also, just vocal layers take a long time. And then once you do PR, it's like, well, you have to get the album cover made, you have to do music videos, you have to do promo shoots. And if you want to shop around for labels, then that's going to delay it even more. And it's like, all of that, as painful as it can be sometimes, because it just delays the exciting part even more, it makes the payoff that much bigger when it's like, here's our first single with this super sick music video that we shot like a few months back and spent so much time on. And it all kind of comes together at this is this one like visual and auditory and just everything fits and it feels really, really high quality. So
Mhm.
it's always worth it. Like I have to remind myself, like when I get that feeling, remember when, the last album dropped and that, Flesh Throne got dropped and I was like feeling that moment of like finally here's everything we've been working on in one perfect little package.
Oh
So
yeah, it's a great release.
yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait until it's all because I don't even know what the music videos are gonna look like yet, and I'm sure they're gonna look super fucking cool, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm glad I waited.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Flesh Throne has a music video, and Perpetual Chasm has a music video. They were very fun to shoot. I think that those were some of the most ambitious ones we've had, and just very, yeah, just all around fun time to do. So I typically will pick one artist that I know, like I want this person's style. Um, the last album and more than likely the next one will still be the same artist, which is Erskine Designs. Like it's that super like painter style of artwork. Like it's just it has a certain aesthetic, and he's getting into more abstract stuff, which is funny enough probably where the next album will go. So I'm super happy to see what he's been doing. Um, I have a hard time breaking artists because I get so used to their style and I love what they do. And I'll find some other artists. I'm like, yeah, but that one's really cool too. And it's like, fuck, now I have to. I don't want to betray my guy, but I'm also like, yeah, but I don't know. It's hard. There's a lot of really, really good album artists out there that just create some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen. And so that's one of my favorite parts of with the album getting done is sending off. I'll typically send them the material, a general idea of what I want, and then just kind of have them go and see what they make from it. Yes, I think that that's the most organic way to actually make it appear the way it sounds. And I've been doing that with all of our merchandise lately too. I'll send off like if I have a song that the merch is based off of, I'll just send them the song, give them like three key words, and then be like, have fun. Like, and it always ends up turning out way cooler than anything I could have imagined, which is exactly the point. Because they're the artist, they're the master of their craft. They're gonna know the best way to translate this into something visual. So trust the artists, man. They're really good. There's a handful of people that I'll go to. Misanthropic Arts, I highly recommend. I think that guy has done stuff for like Behemoth and like some really, really big names. And recently, I think his name is Kalen. He's done stuff for like Lorna Shore recently too. Um, I recently had him make a tour shirt for us, actually. There's a lot of them that do like that line work that I really, really like to see on merch. So I try to go to different artists to just kind of diversify our portfolio when it comes to the merch that we sell. Although sometimes it can be hard because like I've used Misanthropic Arts multiple times because you kind of get in that groove where they're just super easy to work with and keep creating really fucking good art. And it's like, fuck, I don't want to, I don't want to go away because I know the next one you make is going to be even cooler than the last one. So, um, there's a lot of them, and I do want to keep trying different artists just to kind of just get different styles for fun.
You said
Oh,
it.
yeah. Hmm. Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah, it's like all of our identities blended into one logo. It's really that one's my favorite for sure.
nice.
Yeah. Black metal's starting to grow on you, finally.
Oh,
Oh, for sure. Well, the first time I oh sorry. Dude, the first time I heard Ulver do that, that shit blew my mind because it's just blast beat and it's a beautiful instrumental, but with the like you said, like almost like a church choir singing, it just is such a beautiful contrast. It creates for such a beautiful soundscape. Oh, dude,
I appreciate that.
that's one of my favorite things about the genre as a whole is just finding that middle ground where like absurdity and evil meet beauty and just like mastering that duality is the thing that makes me fall in love with the genre every day over and over again, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow. Yeah. Tyler, wake up. Do you have any interest in playing outside of the US? And where would your like preferred tour take place? And if you could pick two bands to go on tour with, like what does your ideal tour look like? Maybe we can get some manifestation going.
Oh man. Um, I mean, definitely Europe in general has been like the dream place to tour. I feel like our kind of music would do really well over there.
For sure.
Um, Fortunately, Old Man's Child is back in the world, so I would love to. I mean, I want to open for them someday, but I mean, touring with them is like the big dream. Um, the other band, funny enough, probably Hecate Enthroned, which is actually playing with Old Man's Child on some of their stuff, and they're like a smaller symphonic black metal band,
Hmm.
but I really like that aspect of them. They're just pure evil symphonic black metal when you're just in that mood for some just wall of just orchestration, blast beats. Like it's great. So yeah, I mean, I would love to also see Omen's Child someday now that they're finally around again. They're definitely a pretty big influence on me. Um, the the more riffy side of what Dimmu Borgir was, pretty much. So I
Yeah,
do I do love them, and I'd love to tour Europe with them and Hecate.
for sure. There's so much history
Absolutely.
out there, and there's so much love for extreme metal out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Oh gosh, now I kind of want to do it. Okay. Ooh, I did just want to like maybe see if maybe you had something you wanted to say with like for people to inspire people, who might be struggling with their identity, that was my other big question is like, can you maybe give some advice or some like words to someone who might stumble upon this video and who might need that inspiration or might need that push to just step into their true self, their true identity. Like, um, do you have any like words of affirmation for them or inspiration? I don't think I'm thinking of the right
Yeah.
word.
I understand what you're saying. You're good. I'm glad you said that because honestly, that's a big thing that I want to do with this project and myself in general is to inspire other people.
Hmm.
Because I've obviously been through it myself and I'm still it's an ongoing thing. It doesn't just stop. You don't just discover yourself and be like, cool, and then move on. Like
Yeah,
it's
for
gonna
sure.
always be evolving and you're always gonna run into obstacles and things that just don't work out. I think the hardest part for me was accepting myself for who I am and just in the context of me alone. Like, and I say that because it's really hard to remove external factors and it's hard to just kind of not be concerned about what other people think and what people say and know who you are for yourself only. So that's like the biggest first step is who are you? And if everyone in the world was just gone, who are you?
Hmm.
Because it removes all of the external like social bullshit that we have to deal with. Um, and once you find that, it's just a matter of taking the small steps to get where you want to be. You're not going to just, I didn't just wake up one day, put this on and go, all right, I'm going to go grocery shopping. Like that's just, it took years of me working through all kinds of stuff to get to where I am now. And you have to be very, just be kind to yourself about it. Like, don't expect it to be a fully linear change. There will be times where maybe you have to step back a little bit more than you wanted to. But the whole point of it is to always be working on it and always be thinking about how can I mature and grow and push myself in places I haven't before. Um, and the more time you spend with that, the better. But I think the other thing is finding people who support you is huge. I
Hmm.
think when I first kind of came out, there were some people that I thought were my friends who kind of didn't accept me, and no, it was a hard hit. But at this point in my life, I'm surrounded by only people who accept me, and I can't imagine a life where I don't have that because it makes it so much easier where you know who you can go with and they'll see you for who you are and accept you for who you are. And that way if something bad does happen, you have somebody that will understand and be supportive of like, yeah, that was fucked up. Maybe, this person shouldn't have done that. And that can help you kind of resolve those issues. So
Hmm.
creating a good circle of people, very, very, very important, but also just kind of giving yourself the patience and the time to really think about who you are and how to do that slowly. I think those are probably the biggest things.
Yeah. Well, and you touched on two things there that I find very fascinating because, like, something I've learned too, and with like giving yourself grace is the older you get, your mindscape really changes. And we like to pretend that's not a thing. Like it's way off topic, but last summer, right, I thought like I was having heart palpitations. I was like, oh, I went to the doctor and the doctor's like, you're having an anxiety attack. I was like, what do you mean? I've had anxiety my whole life. Like this doesn't feel like it. And your mind really changes as you get older and your self-image can change and the way you see the world can change. And so I think you're saying like give yourself grace is like it's huge because you never know what direction you're heading. You never know how you're going to feel tomorrow. So having like that support system can be so important. Sorry. Um, and then damn, that just made me forget my second point. Um, anyway, I'll leave it for now. I have another point I'm going to try to remember. But oh, yeah, where you said like you thought these people would be here for you when you initially had like come out like it's so hard to realize in the moment how much of a blessing in disguise something like that can be, right? Like it hurts so bad in the moment where you're like I thought this person cared about me, but like look at you now, like you have this support system and it really is kind of a blessing that those people did the work for you of removing themselves from your life. So I
Hmm.
I always try to like pass that advice on to anyone like, you know, right now isn't the big picture. And you can't always see the big picture, but like sometimes you just got to roll with it and let yourself fall into the path you were destined for. Otherwise, like I keep saying reins, but you hold on to the reins so tightly you end up steering yourself away from where you were meant to be. So anyway, thank you for
No,
saying all
yeah.
of that. All of that. I hope that it can even just help one person who's listening. So
Yeah, I hope that it can, and I hope that, at some point I can inspire more people with this kind of thing because I think life's too short to give a shit about what anyone else thinks about you. And you
yeah.
can pick and choose who you spend your time with, so why not pick the people who actually support you?
Hmm.
And it's interesting because like when you mention the thing about how people they let themselves out, they the trash takes out itself basically.
Yeah.
And if somebody rejects you, I think that's just a really good clear cut way of being like, well, then it wasn't meant to be. Like, and that doesn't just go for people, that can go for events or like organizers, things that maybe like I've reached out to events before about like, hey, can I do this at your event? And then they kind of give me like a weird response. And I'm like, well, thanks, great. I won't go and I'm not going to support you because clearly you don't have an open enough mind for the next, you know, just self expression is really what this is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's a really easy way for me to realize, okay, who should I support rather than taking it personally. And I also say that with many years of working on that too. Like, I'm not saying if you take it personally, you're terrible at managing your emotions. Like, it's okay to take things personally and then kind of evaluate, okay, like why does that hurt me? And working through that and then learning how to realize that it's them and their perspective and their own kind of biases from their own life. They don't know you, only you know yourself. Um, so yeah, I just want to add that a little bit.
Yeah. And shout out to you for not capping yourself off like and conforming to what some venue may or may not want. It's really cool to me that you just walk away. I
Yeah,
think a lot of people could get lost in that, oh, I'm losing an opportunity. It's like, no, that opportunity doesn't serve you. So
exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I don't got nothing.
Yes. And this kind of comes back to how when I also first started, the stuff I wrote was not good. And I think it's really important to realize that when you first start, you don't have to make, the next big hit single day one. Like there's a lot of the stuff you're going to write in the beginning is for you and your growth only. You don't have to share any of it with anyone. There's still songs and riffs and random stuff that I'll write that no one else is ever going to hear, like even to this day. And there will
Mhm.
be things that I'll write one day and then the next day I'll listen to it and be like, wow, I really thought that was good. Okay, well, I'm just not going to use it then, I guess. So you never stop making stuff that is just not going to be heard. And it doesn't matter what level you're at, it's okay to make stuff for yourself and for your own growth only. And for anyone who's doubting themselves, I think the biggest thing with writing music, and this is something I kind of learned, is that's why I started writing all the instruments myself. Um, so, because it can be hard to find people who are willing to work with you. And that was when I started to kind of struggle a bit, was when I would try to find another musician to work with or start a band with, and then just get nothing. And I would get really down about it because I would think like, man, like how am I supposed to do this music thing if nobody wants to work with me? So I just started to do everything myself and at least put music out. And one thing I've learned is that if you put the effort in to releasing music out into the world, that's when people come because you're essentially showing up with a full resume and everybody's like, oh shit, this person actually knows what they're doing. I want to go join them because they have the motivation, they have the drive and the will to do all of this. And then you can start collaborating or whatever else you want to do. But all of my projects that I've written stuff for, I did that where I made an album first and then the people came.
Mhm.
And I've kind of pushed that mindset onto my friends as well that are also like, hey, like I really want to start a band. I'm like, just write something. Don't
Yeah.
just hit up your buddy and say, hey, let's jam. Like you can do that, but if you want to do this seriously, write an album and take your time. Really, really make it your album. But if you have that, you're already like a million steps above most people that are also trying to do that too.
That's just such like a beautiful like common like a beautiful consistent I just see throughout black metal. It always starts with the fuck it, I'll just do it myself. You know, no matter who I
Yes.
talk to or what, it always starts with that, and I think that that might even be deeper rooted in the identity of the music itself of how expressive it is. You know, it really comes from in here and then out. So like it's cool to hear you say that because that's just something I keep hearing over and over again, whether it's interviews, whether it's talking to people on here, like it's cool to me. And it's cool when people take that passion into their own hands. Cause again, like that's how I started as well. I wanted to make black metal. I didn't know how. It's like, okay, well, no one wants to do this with me. I guess I gotta learn to play the guitar. You know, like
Yeah.
that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one important reminder is that always make music for yourself and not for anyone else. Because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, like, I think, yeah, this band, Visellis, like, after I wrote the EP, like, I never intended to go live. And I kind of just wanted to keep writing music. Like that was always the plan. Like, and even if someday the members are in this band now, for some reason life happens, they're unable to do it. This band's not going to stop because we don't have a live lineup. Like this music is always going to be important to me, and I'm always going to be writing it, no matter what external factors are involved. And I think that that's an important perspective for anyone making music. Is as long as you're doing it for yourself, then you're not ever going to be losing anything at all. It's always going to be a positive experience.
Hmm. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm really glad you did reach out. This has been honestly one of the best interviews I've had in terms of just how organic the conversation has been. So I really appreciate it, and I would love to come back sometime in the future, maybe when our album is happening, we can talk more about more fun things.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back. And if you ever want a guest spot on our YouTube channel, we're always looking for people to review bands with us. So
Oh, oh. Yeah, time is always the biggest problem, but I definitely am interested. Um, yeah, let's talk about it in more detail. I'd love to hear more about what exactly that entails.
yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you all again, seriously.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
you
you. It
have
was
a good
awesome to
one.
meet
Thank
you.
you for joining us.
And you too, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.